Afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I just want to this is going to be short. I think it's important that when you're trying to learn things about the world, or when you're trying to, Bayesian inference is important. If you want to try and resolve issues in your life, it's very important to be honest with yourself, to take in more information, and to understand when you're wrong. I run into too many people from politics to so many things. If you're not able to take in new information, if you're not able to have humility, if you're not able to understand the reality that there's a difference between an uninformed opinion and an informed opinion, you're only going to burn yourself. This is a life thing. I ended up jumping into a conversation at work today, and it made me think, like, how many people can complain about things, and when it comes to trying to improve them, they have the worst approaches to improving them. And part of the terrible approach to improve them is the reality that they're not aware of the issue, or they cannot accurately identify the problem to begin with. And that's due to lack of information. And I guess there's like bounded rationality hypothesis. People are going to engage in choices based off the time, information, all that. We're aware of that, but it seems like, unfortunately, as I'm getting older, I'm running into more people who are pushing away information. They're older than me. They don't really believe what they try to make it seem like they do. They are under the impression that, like, opinions are all the same, and there's a difference between, and there like isn't, and the difference between an uninformed opinion and an informed opinion, and it's sad. It's sad. The fact that people can live an entire life and not be aware of these realities when it happens over and over and over again is somewhat like torture. I'm not going to go into the rant, but I want to, shout out to people who are able to have that humility. Shout out to people who are able to understand, well, if I want to understand an issue, I want to resolve it, I have to read, I have to get informed. Shout out to the people who have a need for cognition, a high need for cognition. It doesn't help you if you have an issue, but you don't do enough research to identify what you can do to really resolve that issue. The only thing you do is end up looking like a moron, running in circles, screaming and complaining over and over again. Eventually, you have to be honest with yourself and realize what are you missing that is preventing you from resolving that issue. This is a micro thing. Your life is a microcosm of society. So if you're unable to do this in your life, personally, for personal things, when it comes to politics or anything like that, you're not going to be able to do it. It has to start from the small things. But at the same time, there are people who've gained a lot of utility in their life, who've resolved a lot of things in their life, but some other things, it's like it doesn't work. It's like a back and forth. I think everybody deals with that to some degree. But seeing people in those situations, but seeing people being unable to do that in some situations that are more clear than that don't really that aren't really grounds. Some scenarios that aren't really grounds for being too informed enough to know that you got to get informed. I don't know why people like this negative perpetuity loop, but it's just a short video. Shout out to the people who actually read. Shout out to people who stay informed. Understand that there's a difference between an informed opinion and an informed opinion. You screaming in the wind and talking about shit you don't know about, or not having a need for cognition to understand degrees of certainty, you only look like a fucking idiot at the end of the day. And the biggest person you do a disservice to is not the world or the people who laugh at you like me who will do it, because even I'm not smart. That is smart. But I'll acknowledge when I'm not. You hurt yourself. You hurt yourself. You suffer the most when you're unable to. You suffer the most when you're unable to be honest with yourself. Be honest about what's going on. Be honest about your framework to identify your framework describing things. Because if you don't, it doesn't help. If you're drowning in the water, you're not gonna exhale entirely and just like laid down, right? Like you wouldn't do this. So make an effort to read. Understand that no question is a dumb question. That anyone who's ever informed in something, it took time for them to get to a higher level or whatever, to be more informed. And you have to do the work. If you don't do the work and you're constantly complaining about something and then you don't resolve it, the only one you can blame is yourself. I don't know. I have this beard butter. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Just shout out to the intellectuals, or shout out to, that's too memey. Shout out to the people who read.